But when it's time to talk about certain things, just like, okay, I don't think you realize that you are letting your racism show.
The Jason Aldean video situation, man. What y'all think about that, man? Some people are bothered. Some people think.
Is he like a popular country singer guy?
He is.
I'm gonna ask Terry. Yeah, I'm gonna defer to Terry.
I'm the resident country.
You are.
Actually, I'm deferring 100%.
I honestly didn't know anything about Jason Aldean.
What?
From my my country songs and things that I hear.
Your comrade,
Here now at work, but I wasn't hip to him. But unfortunately, now a lot of people are, because that's usually how it works.
Yeah.
I was aware that he was on Capitol Records, which is a major record company.
Okay.
I'm never surprised at this sort of thing. I don't think any of us are. If I've been black for a little over 46 years in America.
Right. You don't say.
Yeah, it's kind of crazy. And there are these. I'm used to coded language, microaggressions.
Yep.
Things that, I know what you may not be saying exactly the words, but I know what you're saying.
Right.
But I think some of the reactions to this video clip have been very interesting. Like there's somebody first of all, the turnaround, and people are so creative with what they can do with their editing tools.
Yes.
Somebody Try That in a Small Town. His video. Now, mind you, it was banned from CMT, which is a Viacom company.
Right.
Part of Paramount CBS. I know they're going through a big shakeup over there right now, but basically the same people that own VH1, BAT, MTV, CMT, it's all the same company. And they received some backlash for playing the clip and pulled the clip. Apparently they have re-edited the clip to take out, the certain portions, but there have been people who, with their TikTok skills, and they've taken out all the images of essentially protest of police brutality and replaced it with video footage from January 6th. And I think I even saw a clip of, the excitement and the exuberance of people setting cars on fire and knocking them over when, a sports team wins,
right.
to try that in a small town, when when the Alabama Crimson Tide wins the championship.
Yeah,
but this is
LSU fan stuck his finger in my
but what is really not surprising to me at all is that this song has become a hit.
I knew it was going to be a hit as soon as I watched it.
The people who sit in the ivory towers and certain places who have these sort of feelings, who do not support country music at all, they really did support this sentiment. And it happened before. Remember, what was the guy's name who got caught saying the N-word on his own video and then went out and did a song with like Lil Babe, with Dirk, with whoever. Yeah. His records as soon as he got caught. Morgan Wallen.
There we go.
Basically,
his stuff is number one.
As soon as he gets caught saying the N-word, then people are like, I like that Morgan. Let me go ahead and support him.
He's a good old boy.
His records just take off. So it's almost like a glitch in the matrix, to where if you say something or express anti-black sentiment as a country artist,
they fall in line.
You are going to the top, baby, even if it's in the short term.
Yeah, it's all by design.
That's sad, because I know a lot of people who are country fans and not like this. But like I said, I think that this is people being propelled by people who aren't even country fans. They're just racist.
At the end of the day, yeah, because I've seen a lot of that on Facebook. People making think pieces, and the black guy who all his friends are white is asking them, "What's the big hurrah about this?" And I don't see anything wrong with it either. It's almost just like you find a reason for it not to be racist,
right?
So and I'm not even gonna say the song in itself. The song definitely has underlying connotation that if you don't hear that, then something's wrong with you, and you're just one of them people that don't see color, so to speak.
It's a teachable moment.
It's always got to be a teachable moment.
It's one of those things. And then when you pair it with the visual, because like even if you just heard the song, you pair it with the visual and the actual video and the history of where that video was shot, then it all kind of brings it all back together. Now, mind you, he didn't write this song, but he's representing this song.
Interesting.
That's what I was.
And he's not even from a small town,
right?
But he's standing and he's planting his feet down in the ground to take a stand with this. He's even been called Halloween with blackface on.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
This guy there?
He's already
he's
just
one of those type people. But isn't that the same as what happens in the Marlon Wayans and Sean Wayans movie White Chicks? Isn't that the same? It's like everybody always wants to bring up that one movie compared to a whole history of blackface.
But
it's
whiteface isn't the same.
It's not the same. It's not the same.
It's not even a thing.
It's not. And it's distasteful, or it's kind of just like, we don't really care. We'll say it's distasteful just because it appeases you to say it's distasteful.
Right.
I don't really care that much about it.
Yeah.
But at the same time, it's more so the visual and the people that are getting behind it. And of course, anybody that comes online with a Candace Owens rebuttal to anything, if that's who you go to whenever you want to say, well, this black people aren't all mad about it, and you put up
Candace
Owens, that's, come on, man.
Well, also, you have to
I
understand.
saw Jason Whitlock.
Hanging fruit.
Once again, Jason
same
Whitlock.
thing.
He fell right in line. He was like, man, this is, and I'm paraphrasing, but he's like, I can't really see anything wrong with it. That's exactly where I want to live, in a place where I can just shoot them up like a gun range. And I'd love to be in a place like that. I don't really see anything wrong with it.
No,
I'm
you
like,
wouldn't.
Yeah,
Jason
you
Whitlock.
wouldn't see that.
There are still places in the United States, still places right here in Indiana that are considered sundown towns. If you are,
absolutely.
You know, it's something that I've heard from all my friends who grew up here and wound up going to school in Bloomington. It's like, do not stop in Martinsville.
I got caught up in Martinsville, and I'm gonna tell you what happened.
Tell me.
I was driving back home from Bloomington, got pulled over in Martinsville, received a ticket. I received a court summons. So I didn't have a ticket that I could just pay and be done with it. I got a court summons. Me being mindful, I'm like, well, when this court date happens, I'm not going down here by myself.
Nope.
So it was me and a handful of my buddies, one of them being white. You know what I'm saying? So we're hitting all bases here.
Very smart.
I'm in your courtroom.
Very smart.
They got through the whole list of people. They never said my name. It's almost like I had like a check or something. Don't say this guy's name. So at the end, I walk up to the judge. I'm like, I'm here for my summons. I'm showing them, y'all didn't call my name. Well, you're not on the docket or whatever. They ended up suspending my license. Here couldn't do anything about it because I was suspended there. So every time I would try to fix it here, they would send me back there. And they gave me the runaround for about 3 or 4 years. So I was riding on suspended license because of a small town. You know what I'm saying?
And people that aren't from here, they think that's movie stuff. It's like you see it in films. Like that can't be, reality. And I'm thinking,
like a Jordan Peele movie.
Yeah, it's like if you're an Indiana resident, or if you grown up in certain areas, I'm not gonna pigeonhole just Indiana, but areas that can
small towns.
Yeah, that
small
and
town
I wasn't
states.
even in the small town. I was on the highway.
Exactly.
Were you like where all the car dealerships were and all that stuff?
Man, I can't even remember. I just remember getting pulled over there, and I was like, "This is the wrong place to get pulled over."
But bro, what he's describing is a real thing. And it has not disappeared. It is still real, and it still happens right now.
Because the good old boys run the court system in these small towns.
Come on, man.
And they know what it is to catch people up and how it can be inconvenient and cost them lots of money.
Do you know how much of an inconvenience that is for him to go 3.5, 4 years going back, playing the back and forth game about
a suspended license? You think I stopped driving?
No, you ain't stopped.
Absolutely not.
First of all, nobody who gets a suspended license, because you still got to go make money, take care of your kids.
That's stuff I got to do.
Yeah, but so you basically did you have to keep going down there to have?
Yes, I went down there multiple times.
That's the bad part.
I'm like, look, I have this document from Indianapolis stating that I am suspended here. You all need to fix this. What do I need to pay you so I can go back home and get my license reinstated?
Right.
Simple as that. And eventually, they finally let me get it done.
But this was still multiple times back and forth to the same courtroom.
Yeah.
Over
to get told the same thing over and over again.
You know, over basically what was like just a basic traffic infraction.
Yeah, I should have. Like, I showed up to court. That means that we figure it out now. Are you guilty or not? If you're guilty, you just decide to pay it right then and there, and it's done. Nah, that didn't happen for me.
So they didn't even want to let you plead guilty. They just want to tell you keep coming back.
Pretty much. Well, I'm sorry, you're not on the docket.
Yeah, and they can just say, no, we're sorry, and and then have, and basically this is an impediment to you just making a way and living your life. And this is what happens in these small towns all the time.
Exactly.
Yeah. Yep. I think it's a good teachable moment.
Good teachable moment.
Yeah, but you know what? The people who need to be taught, they're not trying to. They want this to be a teachable moment for Black people. The people who always want to talk about teachable moment, it's never a teachable moment.
When
for them.
I say teachable moment, I mean from the angle of, look, I come from a smaller-ish town.
Mm-hmm.
I have family members that live in smaller towns that are straight country, that are straight, like they appreciate that style of lifestyle, removed away from all of the, let's just white devil's advocate, right?
Mm-hmm.
Let's take away all the,
you said it, I didn't.
Let's take away all the connotations, right? Mm-hmm. Around what's obviously in the song and what's obviously in the video. You have people that won't pick up on those things, mm-hmm. necessarily, consciously at least.
Right.
And you have people that enjoy the sentiment of what it means to be, quote unquote, American, from a small town, and look down on city folk because city folk look down on them, mm-hmm. and they appreciate all those type of sentiments.
Going to the general store and the football game on Friday.
Absolutely, there are people. I know people like this. I have family members like this. One of the biggest problems that I think that we have in the United States in general is that there's a like a disconnect between being racist and understanding what racism is.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
You know what that is too? It's one of those trigger words that gets people going.
Right.
Privilege.
Yeah. But
you don't have to. You don't have to pay attention to it if you're from one of these areas, because you was raised a certain way that kind of shielded you from city life. Mm-hmm. Whereas we're in a situation where we have to live in the city. We didn't gain any of this land, properties, or anything from family that have been in this town all their lives, and we're still here, and we're still building upon that.
Right.
It's totally different. It's a total different dichotomy.
Yeah.
But it's also what, just going back to what I said about coded language and coded imagery, because that's that, like, even if he didn't exactly say that, we know what he meant based on, because I cannot assume people are stupid, when they do these things.
Right.
I don't think it's stupidity. It is definitely ignorance, though.
But it's like, okay, when political season, which is coming up faster than I'd like, whenever they talk about, real Americans, like, mm-hmm. they talk about real Americans, like I said, that they come from these small towns. Well, real Americans live in Indianapolis, St. Louis, Chicago, Milwaukee, Miami, San Francisco. Those are real Americans too. Not just the people who live in these small towns, who, go on hay rides and whatnot. And I'm not dissing hay rides. I've been on a couple myself. But, it's just like when they talk about, we're going to sit down and talk with suburban housewives. Well, my mom's lived in the suburbs for 40 years. Right. And they've never sat down, and it's never anybody that looks like her. So when they mean suburban housewives, they're not talking about just people who live in the suburbs. They're talking about white people.
Right.
Facts.
Who are scared of urban crime.
So
let's talk to them about how they feel about the next political cycle.
So to your point and to what Terry's point, based upon what I was going to say, it all goes together into, I feel like, the coded language is missed. And, this is a hill that I die on because I've literally experienced it as a white person.
Yeah,
but
you wrote a nice observation piece about that.
A long time ago. Yeah. But a lot of it is sheer ignorance because of the benefit of privilege. Mm. And it's one of those things to where, like, there's a very big disconnect a lot of times between wanting to be called a racist and understanding what racism is. Like, from an individualist standpoint, like, if most white people, when they think of racism, they think of individualist aspects of things. And we've talked about this before. They think of, well, as long as I, from an individualist standpoint, treat this individual as such, I don't have to do anything else. That's just like a subconscious thing. Mm-hmm. That's different from what racism is. You don't have to be, quote unquote, racist. And if that's the definition that we're going to run with, you don't have to be racist towards individuals to still contribute to racism.
Well said. So
that's where my argument, where I was getting yelled at by white people when I was saying all white people are racist, because we all contribute to racism. In essence, in America, you cannot not contribute to racism and be a part of what America is, because it's what it's founded upon.
You just don't want to be called a racist. That's where they draw the line, is when I'm being called racist. These actions and things that I do, they don't matter, because I still like black people. I just don't like these certain things. But when you call me racist, that really hurts my feelings. At the end of the day, that's what it is.
It's feelings being hurt because they truly do not believe, based upon their definition and indoctrination for 40, 50 years, based upon their definition of what racism is, that they are being that.
Right.
And so it's like, no, when they think that people are changing the definitions of racism around them and making it something else, but that's not really the case. It's just that you've just been ignorant to what it actually has meant to people that are affected by it for a very long time. So,
well, you know, Chris Rock had a joke a few years ago where he said, did you guys know there's an app on your phone that lets you know which one of your friends from high school is racist? And people were like, well, what's that? It's called Facebook. And I tell you,
you said Apple. I was like,
and I tell you what, especially around the time of Mike Brown and then Trayvon Martin, I found out some people that I went to high school with and might have played ball with. They have some really, they wouldn't consider themselves to be racist because, hey, they decided to hit me up on Facebook and they wish me a happy birthday. But when it's time to talk about certain things, just like, okay, I don't think you realize that you are letting your racism show.
I had to unfriend a handful based off of, it may not have been that particular situation, but something similar, something that was of that magnitude. And, you know, you play the scroll game, you go through your feed, and I saw a few things where I'm like, yeah, I never saw that. I know you, like, to your point, like there's a couple we went to high school with where I'm like, I never knew it, but thank you for showing me what's really going on. So we're going to go ahead and unfriend it.
Mine's pretty much cleaned up for the most part, but I do get a lot of shucking and jiving for people that like to pander and take sides and say they're free thinkers. Yeah. That does not qualify you as a free thinker by thinking the same way that somebody else thinks just because they don't look like you. Yeah. That's not free thinking.
Well, because a lot of times, especially, I think
it's
we talked
playing
about
white devil's advocate.
Yeah.
There you go.
With, you know, a lot of these people who claim to be part of this thing called the manospheres. For whatever reason,
Is that the new thing now?
There's a certain...
That's like Andrew Tate stuff.
But you know what? Okay. But then there's some people that are offshoots
but
of
there's
that
crossover.
That seem to, whatever reason, embrace people who have racist and anti-Semitic viewpoints, and it's almost like, well, this person literally says I'm aligned with neo-Nazis, but I do think it's hard to be a man, and so let's sit down and talk to him. And it's like, I don't know where you guys decided to create that cross section, but you have to really watch who it is you follow.
Well, it's white angst. It's white male angst.
Yeah, oh man, I saw that.
Andrew Tate said he's mixed. He said he's black and whatever.
He's white. Yeah, okay.
He's
white, but
that's what he said.
But this is the thing. I saw. You know, like I said,
he could be Turkish.
I don't go to the movies anymore. But apparently, like a lot of white men, probably the people who are the biggest supporters of this country movement that we were talking about, were very upset about a movie about Barbie. And I was like, do you guys really have this much time?
Were they?
Yeah.
What's the argument now? I hadn't
Apparently
seen the Barbie
it's
movie. I don't know.
or something. I don't know. It's a movie about a Barbie, guys.
Barbie doll.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know.
If you played with Barbies when you were growing up and it kind of hurts your feelings that way, then I'm sorry, man.
I don't understand it.
I picked up the action figure.
That went over my head.
Yeah,
the Barbie one went over my head, Jim. I can't.
You know, and like I said, I haven't seen the movie. I'm probably not going to see it.
I'm not going to go see it.
You know, because like shoot,
my daughter's not even old enough to take her to watch it. So
yeah, and plus, and once again, it's PG-13. I was like, it's probably in a kids movie anyway.
Exactly.
So
no, I'm cool, and I don't. I don't get it. I'm out on that one.
And it's not a bunch of film people that are like, man, this is a horribly made film, blah, blah, blah. No, it's just people that are mad that it's a show for women.
Yeah, that women went and saw a movie, got together with their friends and wore pink outfits. And for some reason, they're upset about it.
That's one of those things that just don't bother me, man.
I don't have the time.
Who cares?
If you as a man have time, then you really need to check yourself.
Yeah, that doesn't bother me.
That is 100%.
I'm sorry.
I don't think that plays into the erasing my manhood. There are some things that can be in question, but that's not it.
First of all, if you went to the Barbie movie by yourself to sit there and have a critique so you could, and you feel like it's doing something to manhood in America, then maybe you do have a problem.
Yeah, try that in a small town.
Try that in a small town, Chief.
You got a lot of time on your hand.